He's a perfect guy to take him out too. He took Ngannou out. Why would he not take Jake Paul out? And for him, he probably make more money fighting Jake Paul than he will fighting anybody else that he can fight right now. So why would he not do? I mean, not that he needs the money right now anyway, but if he's going to do something, if he want to get a good win to put him back on the scene, that's a perfect win. You get a lot of money doing it.
I tell you what, I say to AJ, if this goes past 5 rounds, everybody's gonna be having a go at you because you can't go past 5 rounds with this kid. It has to go past 1 round or 2 rounds. Past beyond 4 or 5 rounds, you know, people are gonna be doubting you as a fighter himself.
Jake Paul cannot go 6 minutes with Anthony Joshua. It's just not gonna happen. You're talking about a man who starched Klitschko.
Roy Jones Jr. explains the upcoming Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight, saying Joshua will beat Jake Paul badly. Roy adds that the matchup brings excitement, attention, and huge money to the sport. He believes the event helps boxing grow and that the large payouts benefit everyone involved in the promotion.
I'm going to change subjects just a little bit here. And Anthony Joshua, there's rumours circulating he could be fighting Jake Paul next. 1, do you think it's good for boxing? And 2, do you think the fight will happen?
I think it's great for boxing. I think the fight will happen. AJ is 1-0 against these guys that come in to these boxing careers late. So why not? He's a perfect guy to take him out too. He took Ngannou out. Why would he not take Jake Paul out? And for him, he probably make more money fighting Jake Paul than he will fighting anybody else that he can fight right now. So why would he not do? I mean, not that he needs the money right now anyway, but if he's going to do something, if he want to get a good win to put him back on the scene.
Derek Chisora took a completely different approach to the situation. For him, this isn't about competition at all. It's about business. Chisora argued that fans should not treat the fight like a dangerous war or a career-defining moment. To him, it's simply a big chance for everyone involved to make huge money with very little risk. He said Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn, Jake Paul, and the whole promotional team will earn massive amounts. His view is straightforward. People aren't mad because the matchup is bad. They're mad because those involved are making life-changing money. He believes jealousy is the real reason behind the backlash, not concern for boxing tradition.
AJ against Jake Paul. What sort of gulf do you expect to see?
Listen, we are in the game of entertainment. Either entertainment in the ring or on the football pitch, it don't matter. It's called entertainment. People are going to buy tickets to go watch Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua fight. You know, we're all entertainers, either way. So I'm happy. I'm so happy for AJ because he's doing this for himself. And you have to understand, you have to give so much respect to Jake Paul. You know, whatever he says, he makes it happen. You know, before he was like he wants to fight Anthony Joshua and people were laughing at him. And then suddenly it's happened and people are like, wow, what's going on here? You know, so kudos to that kid, man. He's very good at promoting everything he does.
Derek, do you reckon there's a bit of jealousy from other boxers and even like pundits flying around as well? Because even since it's been announced last night and today...
I know the biggest jealousy pundit you guys have in that is Simon Jordan. I'm telling you right now, Simon Jordan right now, he must be suffering inside and out right now because he knows Eddie's making money, Anthony Josh's making money. So he is dying right now, Simon Jordan.
Look, Derek, and I know you say it's entertainment and there'll be a massive audience, but is there an element of danger as well? Look, AJ's a former world champion, and this is a guy, you know, the best he's been in with is Tommy Fury.
Listen, he don't really care. You know, in the boxing ring, it's the only place you can murder somebody and not go to jail. So kudos to that. So if he gets beaten up and something happens, it's part of the game.
Well, I'm not sure that's a game that people will want to see, though.
Is it a real fight, though? Is this going to be a proper fight? You will know more than most.
Mate, let me tell you something. From how much they're getting paid, about much 177 million, whatever, and they're splitting it down the middle. So I hope it's not a game because I want to see some blood. I want to see somebody's teeth falling out. So I told Anthony...
The debate around the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight has become one of the strangest and most interesting topics in today's boxing world. Abdullah Mason gave a more balanced take. Instead of dismissing the fight as a joke or an easy win, Mason said Jake Paul has built enough skill and discipline to make it at least somewhat competitive. He mentioned Paul has trained seriously for years, faced experienced fighters, and improved step by step. Mason isn't saying Paul would beat Joshua, but he thinks fans shouldn't ignore Paul's hard work. This viewpoint challenges the usual reaction from boxing purists. Joshua is a former unified heavyweight champion, an Olympic gold medalist, and one of the most technically strong heavyweights of the last decade.
Does that surprise you? Is that the first you've heard of it?
That's the first I've heard of it. That's surprising to me.
Confirmed 3 minute, eight rounds.
3 minute, 8 rounds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just your take on it, just seeing Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua in a heavyweight fight.
I mean, I guess they doing what's best for them, you know. So I feel like, you know, I don't got too much to say on it.
I asked you before when Tank was originally scheduled to face him, if you'd watched it, you said you would. But is this more of a competitive challenge for Jake, do you see, because of a natural weight between them being a lot closer?
Oh, this is definitely more of a competitive challenge for them. So I'm a
Legendary promoter Frank Warren supported this idea in his own way. He admitted that no matter how much people complain, everyone will still end up watching the fight. This honesty shows an important point. Even the loudest critics won't be able to resist tuning in. Warren also said Jake Paul has slowly increased the level of his opponents, each time taking on more skill and experience. To Warren, this matchup isn't disrespectful. It fits the way modern boxing mixes entertainment, global reach, and money with classic fights. His support shows the sport doesn't view Jake Paul as an outsider anymore, but as someone who now belongs in the system.
Well, what I think is that people will buy it. They'll watch it. And Netflix have bought it. And they're expecting to get big numbers. They've had big numbers for his last 2 fights. He's a major, major attraction for whatever reason. But he's a licensed boxer. He trains, he works as a fighter. I'll take my hat off to him for all of that. He's not a heavyweight, and he's stepping in with, people have criticised some of his opponents in the past, but he's stepping up to the plate.
Can't criticise this one, I suppose.
He's gone from one extreme to the other. He's fighting a guy, two-time world champion, as somebody who's a natural heavyweight. I know there's a weight clause thing on there, but I don't think that will make a lot of difference to AJ. And he's also a gold medalist. I think it's he's a massive favourite, AJ, for this fight. He's getting very, very well paid for it. And people will buy it. You'll buy it because it's a road crash.
He is a massive favourite. The bookies only have him at 1-10 and 1-4 to get the stoppage. Is that a bit mad to you?
I mean, look, you've seen AJ. You see what he's done with Ngannou.
Yeah, Ngannou and Jake Paul are two very.
And Ngannou's a natural heavyweight.
Yeah, I just thought those odds seemed a little bit, I suppose,
skinny.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it disrespectful to the integrity of boxing?
No, because it's you're asking a question that you know the answer to, as does most people in the industry. So it is what it is. It's a pure money making venture with a guy that's AJ doesn't mean too much in America. Jake Paul does. AJ's ventures into America didn't go down too well, did it? So Jake Paul does, though, and he's got a massive following, and that's why he's on the A.
Former heavyweight champion David Haye gave one of the strongest warnings. He said that fighting Joshua could be so dangerous for Jake Paul that it might be the last day of his life. Haye highlighted the huge physical difference between them. Joshua's size, strength, experience, and athletic background are far beyond anything Paul has seen. His view is simple boxing logic. Joshua knocked out top heavyweights. Paul fought smaller, older, or inactive opponents. The gap, Haye says, is so big that it shouldn't even be seen as competitive. To him, the fight is a mismatch not only in skill, but also in physical danger. His warning is meant to show how a real heavyweight punch can change everything instantly.
Paul is going to get in a ring in a boxing match, boxing gloves, to mix it with one of the most dangerous heavyweights on the planet, someone who is Olympic gold medalist, won the heavyweight championship twice, although he lost his last fight against a very good Daniel Dubois. He's a top 10 heavyweight on the planet versus internet sensation, someone who's a latecomer to boxing and has boxed at a very moderate level. I'm talking domestic level. And he lost to Tommy Fury, for instance. And Tommy Fury, who he lost to, versus Anthony Joshua, they're two completely different sports. So I commend Jake Paul for putting himself in harm's way, because boxing is a dangerous game. People have died in the ring. People have been seriously injured, maimed. And he believes in himself enough to do it on a massive scale, because it's not about the money. He's got enough money. This is him wanting to push the boundaries of reality. He's manifested an amazing life for himself. He's a superstar. And I think he wants to try and do the unthinkable. He wants to. It's an insane challenge he's put himself up for, but you've got to give him credit.
You say an insane challenge. You've described it before as Jake Paul being a cat versus Anthony Joshua's lion.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not equally matched on any sense, are they?
There's not one element of their boxing skill set that Jake Paul can come 15, 20% in regards to Anthony Joshua. He's a completely different specimen. Look, you'll see what it looks like when they stand next to each other. And Anthony Joshua, he's not a bodybuilder,
Respected journalist, Gareth A. Davis gave one of the calmest and smartest breakdowns of the Jake Paul vs. Anthony Joshua fight. He said this fight is not a bad choice for Joshua at all. With hopes of getting a huge fight with Tyson Fury next year, Joshua needs activity, rhythm, and confidence, things he has lacked because of long breaks, unexpected losses, and uneven schedules. Davis said Jake Paul could be a big money warm-up fight, helping Joshua stay sharp without the extreme danger of facing top contenders. Unlike risky opponents who could ruin his plans, Paul gives Joshua a chance to fight with much less pressure. And the business side matters too. Warm-up fights don't usually make much money, but this one could be one of the biggest paydays of Joshua's career. For that reason, Davis believes the fight makes perfect sense. It keeps Joshua active, brings global attention, makes huge money, and sets up the future Fury fight.
Above Jake Paul and a weight division above him. I think it's irresponsible to let those two in a ring together in a proper boxing match. That's my view. It doesn't damage his bank balance, but if he earns $70 million for this, are we really going to see him get up for a fight with Tyson Fury, which is being talked about for next September? I understand that fight isn't signed yet. There's still a warm-up fight. I don't blame Eddie Hearn, as I said to him. I would have taken that fight if I was in the same situation. I don't blame him taking this as a second warm-up fight. But the problem for Anthony Joshua, if he doesn't do what he did to Francis Ngannou in those 2 rounds in Riyadh and finish him conclusively, he's going to be pilloried for it. If this fight stretches more than 2 or 3 rounds and he hasn't got Jake Paul out of there, he will get booed and hammered over it. So there is pressure on him to go in there. And if he gets caught or clipped, which I've heard Frank Warren talking about that today. If he gets caught, the arena's going to erupt if Jake Paul lands a punch, So it's a very peculiar matchup. It's one I'm going to watch and I'm going to go to. I'm in Miami this week anyway for BKB 48. Lucas Brown's fighting Gustavo Trujillo with the bare fists for the heavyweight title in BKB. Where's the press conference on Friday? In Miami for Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. They say the Lord works in mysterious ways. I'm over there. So it's a very weird one, but this is where we are. Jake Paul's unique. I'm interested in your take on it, Chris.
Yeah, I would start with the Jake Paul side of it.
Trainer and boxing figure-tunned, Ajay defended Anthony Joshua against people criticizing him for considering a fight with Jake Paul. Ajay questioned why fans attack Joshua no matter what choice he makes, whether he faces top fighters or takes a different kind of payday fight. He said boxing is full of contradictions. Fans want big fights, entertainment, knockouts, and consistency, but then complain when fighters take the opportunities that provide all of those things. Ajay believes the criticism is unfair and emotional, not logical. He also said there is nothing wrong with this matchup from a business view. It brings attention, money, and new fans to the sport, which helps boxing overall.
Ngannou in 2 like that, but you can't stop Jake in 2. Has he got a short amount of time to get this job done?
This fight is not going on his record, right?
I believe it will.
This fight is going on his actual record.
I mean, some details are still unconfirmed, but I believe this is not an exhibition. This is a fight.
Well, listen, WWE is not real. And if we are to be, sensible about this whole thing, Jake Paul cannot go 6 minutes with Anthony Joshua. It's just not gonna happen. You're talking about a man who starched Klitschko. Come on, it's like this is AJ we're talking about. You know, as far as I'm concerned, AJ can walk in there with one leg and one arm and still win the fight. I'm not gonna be led to believe that Jake Paul it has a chance against Anthony Joshua, although he is improved as a fighter. You know, he cannot be looked on as just a gimmick fighter. Now he's actually got boxing skills and he's done very well thus far. But I think Anthony Joshua is a step too far, and I'm not expecting that fight to go more than a couple of rounds.
A big twist came when the idea of putting the fight on Netflix appeared. At first, Anthony Joshua rejected it completely, saying he couldn't fight on Netflix. And many thought the rumor was dead. But everything changed when the money offer became unbelievably large. Joshua has had long breaks, tough losses, and rebuilding periods. A fight like this, big money, global attention, and low risk compared to top opponents, became more tempting. Slowly, what seemed impossible began to look real. Now people believe the fight could actually happen.
Because for the moment, AJ can't fight on Netflix. But since then, the money has obviously really talked and has made the fight happen. While also, it's been a case of brilliant timing. I think the Paul camp is willing to take this fight now because they probably know they won't get the chance again for at least 12 months. Joshua has been out of the ring for a little while now. The last time we saw him in there was in September of last year, where he got knocked out by then IBF champion Daniel Dubois. His inevitable return has since been delayed because of several issues, yet Eddie Hearn wanted to get AJ back in the ring because of a rumored Fury fight. That seems to be on the horizon for late next year. Turkey has said Joshua will return to Saudi in February on a show there, and hopefully that will build...
Talk around Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua isn't just about skill. It's about what modern boxing values, what fans want, how entertainment shapes the sport, and how the power structure is changing. Jake Paul brings a huge audience boxing hasn't seen in years. Joshua brings history, respect, and top-level ability. Together, they create a show that may not please traditional boxing fans but definitely excites the mainstream.
Joshua back in the ring against anybody in December just to knock off some of the ring rust. Although I don't think even Joshua and his team would have thought that easy fight would end up being Jake Paul, and none of them probably thought this easy fight would end up being potentially the biggest payday of his career to date. This is Netflix truly flexing their muscles. They've made money talk and walk, and have pushed through really the impossible. There would have had to be serious coin to have made this happen. Enough coin to seemingly make AJ be okay with being the B-side. This fight is being promoted as Jake versus Joshua. What world are we living in where Anthony Joshua is the promotional B-side to Jake Paul? And although you might think Jake Paul is mad for taking this fight, that's exactly what they want you to think. It doesn't matter the quality of the actual fight, they want to simply make the most viral pairing possible to have the best chance at selling you a fight. Tyson Paul wasn't much of a fight, but the virality made tens of millions of people tune in, and here